I'd like to share with you something very nice from the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Levi Yitzchok Zatzal, on Parshas Kiseitze. In this week's Parsha, we have the whole din, or the dinim, the laws about marriage. The Gemara, in the beginning of Masechta Kedushin, learns out that there's three ways how a person can be Mekadesh. He can marry a woman, betroth her, and the Gemara learns out in the Psukim. It says in this week's Parsha, Ki yikach ish ishu u'ba'ala, if a man will take a wife, and he will marry her, become one with her. So from the words Ki yikach, we learn out Exera Shava. Here the etymology, the root of the word yikach is kach, and we also have the same word, kach and kicho, we learned it out from Avram Avinu. When Avram Avinu bought the Ma'oras HaMachpelah, the resting place for Sarah, our matriarch in Sarah Imanu, he paid money to Ephron. And over there uses the word also, kach, take from me. So the Gemara learns out, kicha misdei Ephron. We learn out that also over here, money, through silver or money, at least a pruta, a person can be Mekadesh's wife. So we have over here in this pasuk two ways how the kinyan, the acquisition, so to say, the marriage takes place through kesef, money, and ubiyah, that's the marital relationship, and also through shtar. A pasuk later, the Gemara learns it out. We learn it out from, just like by, God forbid, a divorce, a get, helps a shtar, v'yotza v'hoisa, going out helps with a shtar, also v'hoisa, coming in also with a shtar, with a document. So the Mishnah says there's three ways, kesef, shtar, and biyah. Now, the Gemara asks a question on the Mishnah, and the Rebbe's father has his style of answering this interesting question. The Gemara's question, actually. The Mishnah starts off that there's three ways how you can get married, and there's two ways how, God forbid, a marriage can separate. One is with, unfortunate, a divorce, a get, or, God forbid, if there's a passing of one of the parties. Get or misa. So the Gemara asks that the Mishnah doesn't only say the facts. Marriage is through kesef shtar ubiyah, and a separation could be through get or misa. The Gemara says specifically the numbers. By marriage, it's three ways. Separation is two ways. And then it gives the details. Through marriage, kesef shtar ubiyah. Separation, get, and misa. So the Gemara asks, why do you have to tell me first that there's three ways by marriage and there's two ways by separation? Everyone could count, just tell me straight. By marriage is kesef shtar ubiyah, and separation could be through get or misa. Why do you have to say the numbers? Here's by marriage is number 3, and the separation is number 2. We see that the Mishnah wants to emphasize the numbers 2 and 3. 3 by marriage, 2 by separation. Explains Rabbi Levi Yitzchok what the Alter Rebbe brings down in Parshas Vayishlach in Torah. And it's a lengthy discussion, and in short, we'll try to condense the concept. And that is, a person has emotions, and a person has seichel, intellect. The emotional world is called the animalistic world. The seichel, that's the human world. A person was blessed with seichel. If you look in the emotional world, you will see basically there are two sides. There is an emotional feeling of chesed, of kindness, and then there's emotional feeling of gevura, severity, vigorous, showing a power of strength. In the animal world, you will see there are certain animals that have chesed. They're very kind animals, live and let live. Certain animals are very animals of prey, of aggressive, a type of gevura. Now, animals live with instinct. That's the key word. There's no seichel there. You can't convince a cat not to attack a mice. You can't convince a snake not to bite. That's its nature, its instinct. It can't control its emotions. In the emotional world, explains the Alter Rebbe, and the Rebbe's father emphasizes this, there's only two worlds. In Olam HaToyu, There is or chesed or gvura. It's very hard to make a blend. But here comes the blessing of the human being. And that's called midas hateferes. Teferes means beauty. Many colors make beauty. A person has in his life kindness, love, and also he has severity, a feeling of strength. When to use both, how to juggle the both, that you have your seichel. And that's why Teferes, beauty, makes a balance, and it knows when to express chesed, and when sometimes you have to have gvur. And that's the key secret the Rebbe's father brings, why the Gemara says in Brachos, Daf Nun Ches Amud Aleph, V'hat Teferes, you know when the world was blessed and the Jewish people was blessed with Teferes? Zu Matan Torah, that was Matan Torah. But Matan Torah, there's not only, Hashem didn't only give us mitzvahs aseh, which is chesed. He didn't only give us mitzvahs lois aseh, which is gevurah, severity. He gave us a balance. A Jewish person's life is a balance of chesed and gevurah together. And seichel, the wisdom of Hashem, teaches us when to use chesed and when to use gevurah, how to balance the both. And this is what the Rebbe's father says in a marriage too. A marriage is not only based on chesed, it's not only based on gevurah. There has to be a balance. And that balance comes through the wisdom of the Torah. That's the Teferes. And that's where the Mishnah starts off and tells you, but yes, in a good marriage, the secret is you have to have three components. And that's why we emphasize three ways. In separation, period, separation of relationships. Over there, the Mishnah wants to say, yes, there's two, because in the world of emotions, if you're only going to follow your instincts and your emotion, your lusts and desires, whether it's chesed or gevurah, that's going to end up to separations and problems. The key success is Teferes. Have the blend of both. The beauty, and it teaches you how to balance the both, the chesed and the gevurah, and that's the secret of the Mishnah, why it emphasizes by marriage 3, and by separation 2, a good Shabbos.